Hi, it's Claire and welcome to Needle Say More. Today I want to talk to you about cutting out stretch stripy fabric to ensure that you get a perfect stripe match on your side seams and it looks really professional. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is look at the top of your stripy fabric. So what I normally do is I put a pin on the end of the top stripe on this side, and then I trace it all along the top of the fabric, because you can't always assume it's been cut exactly on the stripe, no matter where you got it from. So tracing it all the way along. This can be a little bit tedious, but it gives you a much better finish, so it's worth taking the time to do. Keep going, almost there. Okay, so this is the stripe. This one here is the stripe that I started out on. So this is my selvage edge that I started on. So I started on this stripe and I traced all the way along, and when I got to the end, that is this stripe, not the top stripe. So it's always worth doing just to check how it's been cut out. And I don't know if you can see here, that stripe kind of disappears here. So it starts off like that and then it disappears here and then it goes onto the stripe below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin these two stripes together exactly on the pin, and then I'm going to go along and do this probably on every second or third stripe all the way down the selvage edges to make sure my stripes are all lined up ready for cutting. Okay, so here I am with all my fabric laid out. I've made life a little bit difficult for myself in that I'm trying to be really economical with the fabric. So I have got my back piece here, and that is on the fold, because obviously with most stretch garments you don't need a fastening like a zip or buttons, so it will be on the fold. So my back's on the fold here. Then my sleeve is cut to here, so it's on a double layer, and then my front I've had to just slide down sorry, I keep dropping my head off, slide down so I can get the most out of the fabric. So I don't know if you can see here, there we go. So I've had to come right down to the end, but I'm just trying to waste as little fabric as possible. Okay, so without chopping off the top of my head, what I'm going to show you is how to line up your pattern pieces with the stripes so that you've got a perfect stripe match all the way across. Here's my fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along the length, and you see how the stripes are coming apart now? It's kind of stretching a little bit. Probably every second stripe, so this stripe, this stripe, this stripe, this stripe, I'm going to pin to the stripe underneath to keep the fabric straight, because you can already see here it's curling and it's kind of moving away. And once that's all set up, I'm going to do it down both of the selvage edges. I'll show you how to line the stripes up. You can see here I've pinned every second stripe. It worked out better to kind of do on alternate sides because it ended up quite pin heavy. When that is pinned in place, you want to kind of brush out and stroke out any wrinkles, just to make sure the fabric's lying nice and flat. So you see here I'm getting a bit of a wavy line. I need to make sure that I'm getting the fabric nice and flat so that the stripes are lining up. And you can see here that they're starting to come apart. So I need to make sure that I'm manipulating the fabric so it's going to all line up. And then as I go, I'm kind of stroking it out and easing it out. So I have pinned my stripes together all the way down the two selvage edges, and I have smoothed my two folds down to give me a nice finish. So what I'm going to do now with my pattern pieces, you need to decide where you want them on the stripe. So I'm going to put, this is my armhole. I'll zoom out a bit so you can see it. So I'm going to put my armhole on top of a stripe here, and that's my back piece. On my front piece here, let's see it? I'm going to put that on top of a stripe there and pin it. And then on my sleeve, I'm going to do the same. So make sure the sleeve is on top of this stripe. And one tip with the sleeve, it's very easy to think that you're on one stripe, but you've gone a little bit slanted. So what I do with my finger is I'd trace, so I'm going to use this stripe here, trace all the way along to there. Grab a pin. So I'm going to put a pin there. So then when I put my sleeve piece on, sorry if you can hear my knees cracking. So I'm going to put it on top of this stripe there, and then when I come across, there's my pin. So that's the stripe on the other side, and I'm going to put it like that. And I'm going to pin it all into place, and then it should all line up perfectly when it's cut out, and I can sew it on the stripe to get it a perfect stripe match. So I'm all pinned on, and I just wanted to show you. So this is the underarm, and that is just on top of one of the kind of putty colour stripes. Then if we come over to the sleeve, again, I've lined up the underarm with the top of one of the stripes. The same over here, and it's really tight here, trying to get the most out of the fabric, and the same just here. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut it out. My neckband, it says to do it on the fold, but I really like a contrast stripe, so I'm going to do it that way around, so the stripes go in the opposite way to the garment. I'm going to do that in a little while. I'm all cut out. These are my pieces all cut out. This is my little scrap pile, and I found the perfect piece to cut my neckband out. So this is the full piece. It's nice and long for my neckband. So I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to line up a stripe. So there's a stripe at the top, and then I'm going to cut out on the fold that way because I want a stripe going in the opposite direction. So I'm just going to pin that at the top, pin it down to the bottom. I'll just have to uncurl this bit that's folding, and that should give me a really nice contrast neckband.